If my people who are called by my name shall what? Shall what? Humble themselves. In other words, they've been arrogant. They've been full of themselves. Don't you know I am a manager in my office? Don't you know I am the MD? Don't you know I am a millionaire? Don't you know? Humble yourself. Don't you know I am a reverend doctor? Humble yourself. Don't you know I am the major financier in this church? Humble yourself. Don't you know I was among those who started this church? Humble yourself. Humble yourself. There are 3 ways we must humble ourselves from that same test. We must humble ourselves by committing ourselves to personal and corporate prayer. Part of humbling ourselves is to pray. As you are seated this morning, there are, I would say, almost half of us here who have never attended midweek prayer since the beginning of this year. Even once. And you say, Pastor, you don't know how busy I am. If you know the kind of schedule I have in my office, humble yourself. You don't know the kind of commitments I have on my hands. Humble yourself. If you know the kind, you know my house is not far. Humble yourself. Our lackadaisical attitude to prayer is a sign that we are not depending on him. It shows you are depending on yourself, and it's dangerous. And it could be catastrophic. Ask your neighbor, when last did you attend prayer service? Let me ask him. He has reasons, or she has reasons. Let me now tell him, humble yourself from this week. Humble yourself. Humble yourself. You know why we must humble ourselves? If we fail to, we may face humiliation. And it is only then you now say, Pastor, we have to pray. Oh. Humble yourself. Out of your so-called busy schedule, find time for what? For God. Yeah, I know your schedule is so tight. I know you are living very far away now, but create that time. Show seriousness. Humble yourself. Must tell you, if just this number gather every Wednesday and pray, there will not only be a change in this country, there will be a change in this church. Humble yourself. I know you used to come, but situations and circumstances have taken you away. Humble yourself. Stop giving excuses for your absence. Humble yourself. Number 2, under how we should humble ourselves. Humble yourself by seeking his face. Many of us, we seek the advice of our consultants, the counsel of our friends, more than we seek the face of God over issues. And many of the troubles we have found ourselves would have been avoided if we had sought the face of who? of God. That stock you invested into that is causing you financial problem now, if you have sought God's face, He will have told you not to go into it. But all you discussed with was your stockbroker. Humble yourself from now. Counsel with God. Seek His face. Ask for His direction. One thing I know about Him is that He can never mislead you. Humble yourself by seeking His face. Stop depending on your intellect. Stop depending on your knowledge. Stop depending on your training. Humble yourself by seeking His face. And number 3, we must humble ourselves by turning from our wicked ways. While I was preparing for this message, I was trying to say, God, what are the wicked ways? And you know what God said to me? He said, don't waste your time outlining for them their wicked ways. He said, each of them knows his or our what? Wicked ways. As you are seated this morning, God says, I should tell you, you know your what? Your wicked ways. You know the things that you are doing that is not okay. You know how you are wicked at your wicked ways in the office, your wicked ways in your business, your wicked ways in your family, your wicked ways to your husband, your wicked ways to your wife, your wicked ways to your children, your wicked ways to your parents. Turn from your wicked. The Lord said the problem with them is not in the knowledge. The problem is in the turning. And you know what bothered me most? If this text that we are considering, 2 Chronicles 7:14, is actually talking about everybody in general, it will have been more comfortable for me. But for the prefix, if my people who are called by my what? And God said to me, my people who are called by my name still have their what? Their wicked ways. They come to church on Sunday morning, yet they have their what? Their wicked ways. They give tithes and offerings regularly, yet they do what? Have their wicked ways. They serve in the choir, yet they have their wicked ways. They play instrument, yet they have their wicked ways. They preach the gospel, yet they have their wicked ways. They come and serve as an usher, yet they have their wicked ways. My people who are called by my what? Tell them to turn from their wicked ways. My people still have their what? Say to your neighbor, turn from your wicked ways. You have your wife, you are still running after another man's wife. Turn from your wicked ways. You know what you are enjoying in what you are doing in your office, yet you are praying that another person will not have the same privilege. Turn from your wicked ways. It's wickedness. No other word for it. In your business, you are cutting corners to the detriment of those who are patronizing you. Turn from your wicked ways. You are maltreating your spouse. Turn from your wicked ways. Even as a student, turn from your wicked ways. You know it. God says, if there will be healing for this land, we must what? I can't hear you now. You don't remember. You can't remember. If it's that He said He will give you multiple blessings, yafu yafu, you will not forget that one. The people that are working for you, all you want is work. To pay their salary in a problem. Turn from your wicked ways. In summary, the Lord is saying we must take our relationship with Him seriously if we want healing for our land.